Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing another anti-MLM video, and the subject of today's video is Arbonne. So I got a lot of requests to do this, and at first I was like, you know, I don't really know that much about Arbonne, but the more and more people kept sending me videos, and it's such a big one, and especially now it's very popular with girls kind of my age, so it makes it a little bit more interesting in that way because girls my age use social media, and as we all know, that adds another layer to it, another dimension to it, another level of deception to it. So we're going to talk about Arbonne today, and I'll get into that in a second. So there's actually two orders of business that I want to talk about really quickly, and then we'll get on to the rest of the video. But the two things I want to talk about, first I want to talk about some of the comments I've been seeing, and I want to make a quick clarification, and then I also want to give you my stance on MLMs and purchasing products or supporting products in any way. So the first being, I want to talk about supporting products, buying products. I'm seeing a lot of comments saying, oh look, I just joined for the discount but I like the product, whatever. I'm not actually selling it to anybody, blah, blah, blah. I'm seeing another comment that's saying, oh, you know, I hate the way that they do things, but it's a damn good product. I've seen that so many times. I'm having a lot of people come to me a little bit sheepishly and saying, you know, I really like the product, but I don't sell it. Don't worry. I don't like the brand. I don't like how the company works. I don't like how they recruit people. I don't like how they're so pushy, but I just really like the product. You guys, you have to understand something. You cannot purchase any products for these companies. You cannot. And if somebody is recommending them to you, if somebody, even like I've seen beauty YouTubers who talk about it, it is absolutely deplorable that they would even suggest anything like this. Maybe they're misinformed, maybe they're uneducated, you know, maybe they really don't understand the gravity of MLMs, but MLMs are companies that constantly disenfranchise their employees, they disempower women, and the money that you spend towards these products goes directly back into these companies' legal fees so they can go and countersue and keep people quiet. Former consultants who got out of the business, who are, you know, who've been wronged by them, they've lost money, they've been scammed. That money goes to these companies' lawyers, and it silences these employees who are trying to give their honest opinion and warn people that these things happen to them. They lost money. There's so much legality of this, and we're going to talk about a ton of it in this video, but I am telling you right now, you cannot support these products. It's the same thing where I don't use cruelty cosmetics. I don't use cruelty brands. I don't buy them. And the reason being is because I find the practice to be unethical of testing on animals. I find it to be unethical. There's no reason why you should be testing on animals. You're not entitled to that makeup at the expense of somebody else, expense of another life. I think we can pretty much all agree on that, even though some people still use cruelty cosmetics. Okay. If you find something to be unethical, which I find MLMs to be highly unethical, the way they treat their employees, the way that they, you know, again, disenfranchise, disempower, scam these people out of money, I am telling you, you cannot purchase these products in good faith. You cannot do it. And I am asking you not to do it if you also agree with that sentiment that this is not an ethical practice, the way that these companies are performing. If 99% of consultants are losing money every time that they get involved in these businesses and become a consultant or a distributor or whatever, if 99% of people are losing money, how can you in good faith purchase these products? I have to say that right now, and I find that to be very misguided and very damaging to other people. You guys, I don't care how good a lipstick is from Avon or from Lip Sense or whatever, there's other lipsticks out there, and they're not at the expense of other people. So just keep that in mind as we go through these videos. I'm sorry that was long. This is going to be a long video anyway. So that's the first thing I want to get out of the way. The second thing, I'm seeing a lot of comments that are slightly irritating, although they're not going to stop me, which are people saying, why do you care so much? Leave it alone. Stop with the MLM videos. Like, why do you know, you're stalking me. I'm getting that one a lot. You're a stalker, whatever. Just drop it. I just need to make an income, so why do you care so much, blah, blah, blah. They see me as a threat to their income. You guys, I have to make it so clear to you, I do not have any stake in this. I'm talking directly to distributors when I say this. I don't make money off of you. Your upline makes money off of you. You know, I want what's best for you, and you'll realize that, unfortunately, once you lose a ton of money in this company, and hopefully you don't, but if you do fail and you lose money and your upline's telling you it's your fault, you didn't work hard enough, you're swimming in credit card debt, you lost your family, you lost your friends because of this business, you're going to finally realize that I was the one who had your best interests. people like me who are against these type of things, I don't want you to fall into a depression. I don't want you to fall into debt. I don't want you to have to declare bankruptcy. I don't want you to lose your home. I don't want you to lose your family. I don't want you to lose your friends. I want what's best for you. And objectively, I could not in good faith tell you this is a good idea, you should be doing this. I want you to get out as soon as possible. And I promise you I have the best intentions for you and just for everybody, you know? I'm not doing this in a malicious way. I'm not showing faces. I'm not trying to ruin lives. I'm trying to save you from this. Okay, because some people don't know about it. Even the best of us have joined MLMs. You know, I don't look at anybody and I say, oh, you're so stupid, or, you know, I'm not looking at it like that. I'm just looking at it like I'm trying to help you, okay? So let's get into, with that being said, keep that in mind, let's get into this Arbonne business. So I want to talk to you about Arbonne because it's a direct selling company. They have a recruiting model. It's very top loaded where the people at the top are making the most money and the people at the bottom are making next to nothing, if not losing a ton of money. It's also something what I like to call a closed market system, which is typically used in economics and marketing for like when employees are trading around stocks, and it's like when employees are buying things within the company and it's not really open to the public type of thing. However, MLMs are interesting because they've kind of taken on and made closed market systems a brand new thing, because employees are not really supposed to be the company's main source of revenue and profit. But in this case, and why MLMs are so unfortunately flawed, is that most of the money they're making is from their own consultants, their own employees. So that's just kind of how it works with this. So anyway, Arbonne is an MLM company, right? MLM stands for multi-level marketing. I see a lot of people ask me what that means. And they sell skincare, bath and body, makeup, nutrition, and hair products. So that right there is just, it's a lot, okay? That's a lot of different things for one company to be selling. And that's one of the first things that I want to point out to you. That's a lot of things for a company to be selling. I've actually never really seen companies selling skincare, bath and body. They even have baby stuff. They have makeup, hair, and then they have nutrition. Kind of bizarre. Like if you're buying from Too Faced Cosmetics or a Tarte Cosmetics, maybe they'll have a skincare thing, or maybe they'll come up with like one hair thing or somewhere around there, because it's all in the same realm. But this like kind of nutrition thing and, you know, selling supplements also with makeup, it seems kind of like one of these things has got to be an afterthought in some way. And it's just kind of, to me, like, okay, a little bit of a red flag here. A lot of the Arbonne consultants like to advertise this as like, oh my gosh, there's something for everybody. Like that's what kind of attracts them to this opportunity. There's something for everybody type of deal. However, the major problem that I see with this, let's say, for example, that somebody is an esthetician and they become an Arbonne consultant. I don't know why you'd be an esthetician and become an Arbonne consultant, but let's just say that you are. By the way, we don't know for sure how many people in Arbonne are actually certified estheticians, are licensed makeup artists that went through the schooling and all that stuff. We don't know how many people are, you know, certified nutritionists or anything like that, right? With the proper education and the proper training. We don't know. So let's just assume one consultant is in fact an esthetician. They would be pretty good at recommending you skincare. They'd be pretty qualified to do so. However, if you're an esthetician, you're probably not a hair, you know, guru, you're probably not a nutritionist, you're probably not a trainer. So right there you have somebody who's selling something who doesn't know that much about it. We live in a world where qualifications and, you know, your background and your expertise is everything. Everybody wants to know, where'd you go to college? What are you an expert in? Why should I buy from you? What are you selling? What do you know that maybe I wouldn't know, right? And that's the benefit of going to an esthetician, going to a nutritionist, going to see a trainer. They know those things that maybe you don't because they spent the time learning that. But then when you're in this Arbonne business and let's say again, you're an esthetician, you don't know anything about the nutrition products you're selling. You really aren't an expert at that, so you're really not qualified. And you're also not qualified in selling maybe makeup, and you're probably not qualified in selling hair stuff. So it's these people that are kind of running around with their heads cut off selling these products to you, and they don't really know what they're selling. And we can get into the ingredients and stuff like that later. That'll be towards the end of the video. There's a couple different reasons why I see a lot of people fall for Arbonne, and the two main ones I would say are the car and the type of people that are distributors. So I've noticed a lot of people in Arbonne are these gorgeous, beautiful, blonde, like skinny, tan girls. They are like the girls that probably were cool in high school. They're like this gorgeous, they were popular at one point, probably not anymore, maybe they are. They're traditionally beautiful, right? So when they reach out to you, and maybe if you weren't the coolest ever, or you know, if you're just a regular person, it kind of feels good when somebody cool or somebody beautiful or somebody who you know, seemingly has it all reaches out to you and says, hey, you would be great at this. You'd be so successful. You remind me of somebody who's in the business and doing, you know, killing it or whatever. I've watched a lot of team calls at this point of Arbonne as well, and this is a common thing that they say and they plan to say. It's probably likely not even genuine. I hate to break it to you, but a lot of the time they plan to say, hey girl, you remind me of so-and-so, and they just, you know, it's a random person saying, hey, she's killing it, and I think you would kill it too in this business. They always say killing it. They always say, I'm popping in. They always say hun. They always say, hey girl, because it's very generic. They can just copy and paste. I have videos on the internet right now of people saying, hey, I just copy and paste this generic thing. And very predatory, of course. This one is as well. So that's one reason why I could see a lot of people getting into that business, because somebody beautiful, somebody cool who they want to be like sends them a message saying, hey girl, you know, we're going to be friends. A lot of MLMs is people who want friends, and like that's not a bad thing. Like, you know, we all want to have friends, or you know, most of us do. I actually really don't, but I'm just like kind of messed up that way. But you know, a lot of people want to have friends. A lot of people are going on BFF Bumble. I'm getting messages saying, I was on BFF Bumble, I thought I made a friend, and then it turns out it's this girl who's trying to pitch me an MLM. You know, a lot of this, the MLM appeal is this social aspect, and like you're going to be in a crowd of people who want to be your friend, and we're in this business together, we're in it together, we're accountability partners. These are a lot of these hot topic, you know, hot button things that people are going to say to you if they want to recruit you into this opportunity, which is an opportunity to lose money, and potentially ruin your life. Yeah, so that's one of the big reasons. Another big reason, probably arguably the biggest reason, is the chance at this free car. So it's a free Mercedes-Benz. There's a great write-up by the finance guys who they always run the numbers on every single MLM, so like mainly the big ones, but I'm just going to read to you kind of what the free car entails, because a lot of the time when something seems too good to be true, it probably is, right? So the Mercedes-Benz perk, once you reach a certain rank in the company, and you reach that rank by personal volume, and meaning you buy a bunch of products, you sell products, and you recruit people to the opportunity. So you need to be sponsoring a lot of consultants in order to reach the next rank. So I saw this the other day too, sorry to sidetrack for a little bit, but I saw an Instagram story somebody sent me saying that they earn absolutely nothing. They're claiming that they gain absolutely nothing when you sign up. That is so false. Some people even earn up to 50% of what you're purchasing and what you're selling. It goes directly to your upline. 50%. Some people get 50%, okay? So they absolutely do stand to gain a ton from you signing up. Okay, so let's talk about this Mercedes-Benz. So it's a very attractive thing. You know, it's a luxury car. Greed and materialism, I talked about this before. They suspend your proper judgment, and a lot of these MLMs encourage you to be impulsive and just to jump in and say yes, you know, even though you don't really know what you're getting into. So let's talk about the Mercedes-Benz. Let's be totally transparent about it, because that's what we all can agree on is a good thing to do, right? So once you become a vice president with the company, which is, you're not a vice president, anyway. All the Mercedes must have the Arbonne label included on the back. If you've seen one of these driving around, it's pretty funny to see because they've got a big old Arbonne sign, and I've seen a bunch of also like Tupperware cars driving around. Basically you're a walking advertisement for Arbonne, and in a lot of ways they really should be paying you to be doing this because you're advertising for them. They talk about also there's no choice. You have to get a white Mercedes. If you would rather have like a red Porsche, even if you would rather have like a luxury holiday, Arbonne is giving you just a white Mercedes. It has to be just like it can only be that. Even if you wanted something where it was like more practical, like maybe, you know, something with better mileage or something that's more fit for your life, like a better, you know, if you want to go camping or something. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to get the white Mercedes. You can't get anything else. And it's a luxury car, right? So the problem here's the catch. They're not buying your car. They're not buying it outright. You're not given a car. You receive a monthly payment towards it, and every month you have to hit your rank in order to keep getting the payment towards it. So again, it's not a full payment, And if you want it, it says that these guys ran the numbers. If you want it, you will need to kick in your own funds on top of that, on top of the Arbonne bonus towards the car, right? So you're not getting this paid for. This is a car in your name, and if you don't hit the rank, this is so counterintuitive and such a bad situation that you can get yourself into. If you don't hit your rank, which would mean that you're not making as much money that month because you didn't hit a certain rank, you didn't sell as much, then you are going to have to pay for your own monthly payment towards this luxury car that you didn't have a choice in, right? So it's not exactly a free car. It's not. It's, you know, that's, you're not getting a full brand new car and it's like, oh, you know, this is my car. I don't have to worry about anything anymore. I don't have to worry about the payments. You do. You have to worry about getting, you know, hitting these ranks, finding more people to sponsor, finding more people to chill out to, you know. So it's kind of a scary situation in my opinion if you're not totally sure, if you don't have money saved up, you know. Ew. Those are the two things I would say are the biggest, like, wow, like this, I want to be in on this because I'm going to get a free car and I'm going to get a bunch of cool friends who are really pretty and they think I am too and they want to be my friend. So another thing I want to talk about, this is more about the legality, which has been so interesting to look into. If you're ever bored, look into this legal stuff. It's really interesting, again, in all the wrong ways, of course. Anyway, this is probably not going to be at the forefront of, you know, an Arbonne person's not going to tell you this, and you kind of have to search for it a little bit. But so if you did not know already, let me enlighten you. The top sellers in Arbonne are facing a pyramid scheme and civil racketeering allegations in a class action lawsuit in California. So again, a class action lawsuit is when a couple of people or a few people or several people all come together with similar circumstances and they all collectively sue somebody or something or a company or whatever. So that's what a class action lawsuit means. So a lot of these MLMs are facing class action lawsuits. A lot of these consultants are feeling scammed and wronged, and they're actually going and getting lawyers for this, and some of them are more successful than others in it, and we can talk about that in a second. But the people who actually brought upon this lawsuit were two former distributors who received a total of $30 in compensation after paying the company more than $2,500 to purchase products, promotional materials, and attend conventions. So I want to read this really quickly. The suit states, Arbonne requires them to purchase startup packages and pay annual dues, and the Arbonne system makes it virtually a necessity that distributors purchase Arbonne products, lots of them. In return, the consultants receive the right to receive compensation based in primary part on the recruitment of new consultants who also pay fees, pay dues, and purchase product, just like a classic pyramid scheme. So that's where the pyramid scheme allegations come from. The more new consultants a consultant brings in the Arbonne program, and the more payments those consultants make, the more money a consultant can make. So that's interesting to note because this is just a lesson to all MLMs. They all follow this same basic structure, this top-loaded compensation plan, recruiting new members like crazy. Think about it, you guys. I've been meaning to say this for so many videos, but you're never gonna see me trying to recruit you to become a YouTuber. You're not gonna see me do that. Why would I care? You know, I don't want anybody in a traditional business. You don't want people to come in and like be your competition. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to have to go up against other people. Like, that's just not really how it works. It doesn't make any sense. So just be very careful and think to yourself, why would somebody care that much that I do this? Why do they want me to sell? Like, wouldn't it be oversaturated? Yes, it would be extremely oversaturated if everybody was selling this product, and that's what happens. There's too many people selling a product and not enough people to buy that product. And plus, these products don't sell themselves, let's just say that. So it's very difficult, and just, you have to think long and hard about why somebody would be recruiting you to do something like this. So anyway, yeah, so they're facing, again, the pyramid scheme allegations and civil racketeering allegations, which are interesting because they're claiming that Arbonne bilks people into joining this business opportunity, and they're saying that like these things are not necessarily true about the products. They're not that great. You know, these people are losing money participating in a scheme, and when so few distributors actually make any money from this. So the civil racketeering charges are actually even more interesting, because if you are convicted and you are found to be in violation of RICO, which is the Federal Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act, you can actually be awarded treble damages. A court can permit you to receive triple the amount of actual damages that you incurred. So if you paid like $2,500 towards a business, you will get triple that amount because it's that bad to be accused of civil racketeering. So it's beyond just like, okay, they repay you the money that you lost. They actually pay you up to 3 times if you find them to actually be in violation of this act. So very serious, and a lot of MLMs have been accused of racketeering and there's a whole bunch of stuff on that which we can talk about right now. The other legal aspect of MLMs, which I just want to talk about quickly, and although this is about Herbalife, diverting a little bit here, but I promise this has something to do with Arbonne, so I'll get to that in a second. But I want to show you that just how these are parallel to each other. And I've been getting a lot of questions about like, oh my God, you don't know, you need to educate yourself on what a pyramid scheme is. Believe me, I know what it is. And you're probably in one if you're saying that, just so you know. So, okay, if you hadn't heard about this already, a bunch of people, and somebody, even one of my followers, sent me her check that she just got because Herbalife, if you did not know this, they were forced to restructure after prosecution because they were also accused of being a pyramid scheme, and they were found to be somewhat guilty of that. So they were ordered to pay $200 million in restitution. So a lot of people who were former consultants, or I don't know if they just bought the product, but they received a check in the mail, and some of them were up to like $1,300 and stuff like that. I've seen them like crazy. So they were forced to restructure their whole like compensation plan, the way that they do things. It's interesting though because there was another MLM called Zeke, which actually was fully prosecuted for being a pyramid scheme. The CEO went to jail for, again, criminal fraud, being deceptive, and causing the people to lose a ton of money. So this was a much smaller, you probably never even heard of Zeke, but it was a much smaller MLM. He was found to be guilty. The whole company went down. He was also claiming to be a legitimate MLM, and the same charges that he was brought on were the same ones that Herbalife had, except that the Herbalife CEOs have a lot more political power, and they can afford, again, because it's so much bigger, they can afford to pay legal fees and stuff like that. This guy was much smaller, was a much smaller MLM. However, I want to make it very clear to you, and this is for Arbonne as well, and it goes along with the Arbonne lawsuit that they're facing, and the pyramid scheme charges and the civil racketeering. All MLMs utilize the same structure, okay? Same recruiting business model, endless income possibilities. They all have the same loss, the same failure, and the same turnover amongst all the participants and the consultants in their business, okay? So just because one of them haven't been prosecuted yet, it does not mean that they never will. It does not mean that it's necessarily lawful. There's a lot of things that you can do that you shouldn't do that are still within the confines of the law. In my opinion, I think MLMs are walking a very fine line of legality. I'm seeing a lot of disclaimers being used now, which I've never seen before until literally a few months ago. I'm seeing a lot of Beachbody girls doing it where they're putting an income disclosure statement on their own posts, which is just crazy. But one thing that I really see, and again, this is one thing where it's like, I think that MLMs it's going to be very tough because it's very tough to regulate MLMs. Like even the profit and the supply and demand with MLMs is not regulated whatsoever. The supply and demand problem with these MLMs is just crazy. People ordering way too much stuff for a demand that doesn't exist. Let's talk about some of the claims people make that are so scary and false, and really just, they're deplorable in my opinion, like really, really disgusting. And I really don't say that very often, but when people start to make claims about Arbonne's gonna cure your depression, and believe me, I've got posts, okay? I've got them screenshotted on my phone. I've seen videos. People make posts alleging that Arbonne cured their depression, Arbonne, cured their infertility problems, Arbonne, they're saying cure, and they're saying I don't have depression anymore, I don't have anxiety anymore, I don't have PCOS anymore, I don't experience the symptoms anymore. Arbonne cured my cancer. Like, people are saying these things. It's true. And it is out there. And, as somebody who, I have my own rare disease, it's a blood disorder that I've lived with now forever, and there's no cure for it. And believe me, if somebody told me, there's a cure for it, I would be all over that. But the problem is, these people are not at all qualified to be telling you this. These things are not true. They are false statements. There's no support. There is no research backing them. There's nothing, right? But I can see as somebody who would be depressed or somebody with anxiety, you just want to feel normal. You just want to feel good again. You want to feel happy. You don't want to be depressed. Nobody wants to be, right? So if somebody's telling you that something's going to cure your depression, of course you're going to probably be incentivized or want to try it. However, these people are, again, not qualified to say that. That is so inappropriate. And I saw the other day, one of their top leaders, she made a whole video saying she has PCOS, which I know a lot of you guys suffer from. And it's a very, it's devastating and debilitating in a lot of ways. You can get acne, you can get like serious cystic acne from it, infertility issues, and really there's no cure to it, except, the only thing you can really do, I think, is just take like hormones and stuff like that and just try to regulate everything. And people are truly saying, I mean, this girl is on video saying that she does not experience any of the symptoms anymore of PCOS because of an Arbonne 30-day program. No, absolutely not. I mean, these products, if we're just going to get into it there, and then I saw this other post, which is just insane. Just insane. This woman posted a picture of herself being pregnant, obviously, and she said, 3 years, 11 miscarriages, hypothyroidism, hair falling out, depression, anxiety, imbalanced hormones, tired 24/7, exhausted, even when I woke up from a full night's sleep. The Arbonne 30-day program, in the first 2 weeks, my hormones balanced out so fast, and I got pregnant. I'm now 36 weeks pregnant with a miracle baby. Are you serious? These people are so delusional, and it is so scary and dangerous that they are saying these things to people and alleging that your infertility problems will be solved. I'm sorry, you cannot say things like that. You cannot do it. That's why I say these companies it's going to catch up to them when their consultants are acting like this. There's no regulation on these things. And these people you're just saying, like, if you see something like that, by the way, I'm pretty sure you can report them to their own companies. They have their own code of conduct that they are in violation of when they make these false claims about the products. So big deal, big problem. And another thing too is that the products are not even, again, they're not that great. A lot of the MLM products, it's not about the products, it's about recruiting people, as we all know. So they don't exactly sell themselves. And for example, Arbonne Fizz Sticks, which are supposed to give you like a jolt of energy. They're called energy fizz sticks and stuff, and they always push them. People always push them in the morning and stuff. There's only 55 mg of caffeine, which is equivalent to about a half a cup of coffee in them. Okay, so it's like these products are not even doing anything spectacular for you. And a lot of this stuff, again, it's like Beachbody. It's common sense. Just eat right, live well. These are not miracle products whatsoever. That woman's not having a miracle baby either. So very scary, very creepy, very crazy that people are alleging these things. And there's a whole article. It's like so long, you guys. I can't even read the whole thing, but it's all about, like, if you want to read about the products and like how they're really not up to standard. There's plastic being found in some of the skincare stuff, just crazy stuff, not 100% natural. They're all about being green, blah, blah, blah. So I know this video is so long, you guys, but there's a couple more things I need to talk about. This is just a very difficult MLM to take down. There's a lot of people in this one. It's just a lot, okay? There's a lot of very passionate people about this one. It's crazy. So let me talk first. I want to talk to you about the finances of a lot of this stuff. So I'm going to circle back to the finance guys. They ran all the numbers on the income disclosure statements. Every company is required to put out one. So let me just read to you really quickly. There's a bunch of tables. Again, I'm going to link this down below, but it says 60% of Arbonne consultants averaged less than $1,000 in commission in 2017. That's before we consider that those people had to purchase products in order to earn that commission. It's quite possible that most Arbonne consultants lost money in 2017. As we continued to read through the text, things only got worse. We learned that the table only included the 27,000 U.S. consultants who earned commission in 2017. In other words, 88% of U.S. Arbonne consultants earned absolutely nothing in 2017. And it says, before we continue, we'd like to point out that we are not including customers or preferred customers. Our research is only looking at those who join the Arbonne business opportunity. We find it interesting that the average annual commission for regional vice presidents was only $23,000. That's less than $500 a week. To make things worse, our math told us that this income put them in the top 0.3% of all Arbonne consultants. So if you're a regional vice president making only $23,000 a year, $500 a week, you're in the top 0.3%. Our math could be wrong, but it probably isn't. The findings aren't good for Arbonne. Our research has led us to believe that 99.7% of Arbonne consultants are losing money. Maybe that could be a bad year for Arbonne. Again, once again though, looking at 2018 stats, only 3% of Arbonne consultants earned a full-time income in 2018. The table only includes consultants who actually earned an income. They tell us that 88% of Arbonne consultants earned no commission at all in 2018. If we adjust the figures in their table to include all Arbonne consultants who participated in the income opportunity, then we see that only 0.3% earned a full-time income. In other words, 99.7% earned less than they would with a regular job from the Arbonne opportunity in 2018. I cannot in good faith recommend this company to you. I cannot, okay? I can't. It's not a good idea. People are not making money in this. 99.7% of people are not making money in this. They're most likely losing it. And here's another thing too. A lot of the Arbonne consultants like to say, hey, look, we're not, you know, our opportunity is not, it's not expensive. Like, this is not an expensive startup cost. A lot of them are much bigger. We talked about LuLaRoe a couple weeks ago, and that one's like $13,000 at some points, $5,000 at the minimum. So this one is only around like $70 or $80. However, you start, it's $70 or $80 to join, and then obviously you can't sell products that you don't know anything about, so you have to purchase products. One of my subscribers sent me a DM saying, look, I had to buy, you know, I didn't want to sell something I didn't know anything about, so I had to purchase products. I bought 5 products, and it cost me $300. $300. And think about, they have makeup, body care, skincare, hair care, nutrition. Like, think about all the stuff you would have to buy in order to know knowledge, you know, sell with some kind of knowledge of the product, right? A lot of these people can't even afford to sell these things, let alone, like, they don't know what to say about them. So I wanted to point out, here's one more thing I wanted to say. This is so bizarre. The products, these products are absolutely, the prices are unreal, you guys. Like, I don't know where this company gets off with the types of prices that they are, you know, utilizing. But I got last year, this is in my old apartment, a package came to my door. It was from a PR company. I'm shocked because I went back and I looked. And I was actually sent a goodie basket of Arbonne products. This is the only one I still have. I literally didn't even know at the time it was an MLM. And the products were so bad I got rid of them. And I was just like, ew, who sent this? Like, and I found it was a PR company, which is so bizarre. It was like a very popular PR company who had my address. So very bizarre. They sent them. And I was curious because I went to go look up to see how much this is. This is the Arbonne Prep Work gel eye masks, and you guys, these retail, I want you to guess how much these retail for, just in your head, like, you know, random jelly masks, or, you know, whatever, they don't really have that much stuff in them. How much do you think these are? Okay, at the time these were $73. It said in the brief that they sent me, I can even send an email or show the email. These were $73. It says now that they're $50 on the Arbonne website, but $50 for these stupid jelly eye masks, which do what? They do what? They don't really do anything. I don't really believe in eye masks, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. I just think that you can probably spend your money elsewhere on other stuff. But yeah, the $50 for that. So imagine an Arbonne consultant, you have to first buy all this stuff, and then you have to, like, get to know it, and then you have to sell it. It's just crazy to me. So even though it's a low startup cost, it's not really a low startup cost. And you have to keep buying. You have to buy stuff every month, like every other MLM, you know. It's like, you also have to do a $30 like yearly fee after that. It's crazy, okay? So anyway, I think that I've been talking for long enough. Hopefully this covers most of the questions about Arbonne, and I think I got pretty much everything that I wanted to say. And yeah, I just hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Let me know which one you want me to do next, and I will begin my research immediately. But yeah, I hope you guys are liking these videos. Please leave a like. If you do like them, it really helps me understand and know what you're into. Leave a comment, and that also helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you're not already. Help me get the word out about these. It really strengthens the cause for sure. Every time you like or subscribe or comment or anything like that, or support me in any way, I just really appreciate it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.